Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Doctor, Just Healthy. I am still battling with the battle of the bulge here, but it's going away. I've lost 5 pounds in a week or something, and I'm getting back into my ketosis zone. And I think finally I finally kicked the sugar. So because it's such an addiction that it's hard to stop. But if you stop it for a while, you win. It goes away, and it stops haunting you. But no doctor, just healthy. And I want us to know if we're going to talk about if any of these supplements will help you. Um, because you hear so often about supplements. Oh, this is the first thing. Notepad, notepad. Take notes. Just just a word or two, like right here. This is one that I like. It's a supplement called GABA, and it's a neurotransporter. And this is one of the thing. This is one of the ones that I use, and trying to try to keep my jittery, excited nervous system in order and all that kind of stuff. But um, it's really easy to find out. You open your search engine and you punch in there, what is GABA? GABA. What is it? Well, you can't see it. But anyways, um, we're going to have a whole pile of them here in a minute. But it's a functional thing, and I started taking this stuff because doctors kept on saying that I was getting all confused because I was getting old. That got old. I couldn't stand hearing that anymore after a bit. I figured out that it was the easy way out, and so I started doing things on my own. And one of the things that got me started was uh, I had type 2 diabetes, and they wanted to give me medicine, and I said, well, medicine is just something you take while you have the disease, and there's nothing getting rid of the disease most of the time. It doesn't sound right to me. I want to get rid of the disease. So what did I do? I got rid of type 2 diabetes 4 months after they told me that I had it. And that was at 70, I think I was 70. Could have been 72, 70 years old, 72. I'm 78 now, and I get compliments all the time. I was just at a store talking to somebody about this stuff, and I said, "Yeah, I'm 78." And the guy said, "You're in excellent shape." Because I walk around good, and I'm thinking better. But they don't know how messed up I used to be. But anyways, GABA for brains. Now I was going to put all these in in orders, like you know brains, nervous system, blood flow, uh, fat storage, insulin health. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to go through these and just write down the word. What is GABA? This is if you're having any kind of situation with your mental clarity and stuff. Just just check. And okay, now here, L-arginine, or is it Argentine? L-argentine. I don't know if you can really see that. I don't know, but it's okay. If you, I don't know how your phone works, but I can just hit the microphone and say L-arginine, and it'll pop it right out. And that's an amino acid, and it helps your endothelium. I'm I don't mean to try to be a guru sounding guy because I don't remember well enough, and my recall is really sketchy. So I hate to do that. This is why I'm probably trying to tell you to look it up, because L-arginine will help you, will really help you avoid heart attacks in a big way. And I tell you what, it doesn't get talked about that much because it's helping it works on keeping your veins and your arteries in order. It keeps on your nitric oxide development, which is a daily thing. And uh, let's see, now what was I saying? Well, but it's a necessary thing. But you look up L-argintine, Arginine, but it goes with L-citrulline or goes with citrulline and nasal breathing. Just take a breath through your nose every once in a while, and that helps your nitrous oxide fire up, which helps your veins stay in order, which kind of helps clots stop from starting. But then here, okay, we got vitamin C complex from good old Dr. Berg, and I like this guy, but I'm not exactly sure why they call it vitamin C complex, but you do it. Oh, it comes from all kinds of berries, so that's a complex of berries, and that's good. But I don't know, it's real stuff, but it's really good. If you're going to go someplace where there's a big crowd of people or something, go ahead and take a few before you go. Like there's a thing that somebody that sells some product online, or not. I mean at drugstores for for travelers. They want you to take this stuff if you're going in the air in a closed-in space in an airplane. And that's it. But this is better. This is a lot more of it. But here's one that I really enjoy. When I got out of the service, I had a really harsh attitude. I was so bad that I got kicked out of a VA hospital because of my attitude. Can you? I can't imagine how that can happen. But anyways, it happened to me. But that was fine. But on through life now, I'm getting a lot better. But this stuff is it's a plant from somewhere. But you look it up, ashwagandha, Ashwagandha. It's a very simple little pill that I take before, like an hour before bed or something, and it's just Calmsville, and it's real. It's not a drug that calms you; it's a situation that calms you. The ashwagandha helps your heart slow down. So uh, look it up, and I use it all the time. I and when I'm going through this box, see how many are in here? I have another box of this at home, but or a basket or whatever. But you'll see that I come up with some of the same products, like duplicates. They they gang up on you. They're good ones, some of the good ones, and this one is probably the most perfect repair to a bad problem I had for years. I used to not be able to eliminate. I used to not be able to go. Couldn't go to potty, but number two, and it was awful, and it was just always an effort, and that just doesn't go well with people. I mean, it just makes you sick. It keeps you polluted, and then it was funny. It was actually uh, when I would finally maybe I would take all kinds of different things to help me go to the bathroom, when all of a sudden I hit the right combination and I'd go. It was awful, and it usually made me sick. After I'd go, I'd get sick. So this Tudca, Tudca, is part of a. Let's see how many letters it is. TAURSODEURSYCHOLIC acid. It is the liver acid that helps make bile. And the bile, this is good for people, gallbladder troubles. People think that they need to get their gallbladder pulled because it's not making any, it's not, gallbladder doesn't make uh, bile, it stores bile. And then it works like a squirt gun. And when you got food passing it after, when you eat, if it's fatty food or something like that, it says, okay, it wants to squirt some bile on it. Well, when you're oh gosh, am I going to end up being like that today? When your gallbladder starts to stiffen up, it stops squirting. And then also the bile also thickens up in such a way that it turns into some sludge that can't really get pushed out. Maybe not enough of it. And anyways, I heard there. Here it is again, Dr. Berg. I, well, this isn't his brand, but he sells a brand of it. But I got it from him. I got the idea from him. I was watching his uh, website, which is like this, and he turned around to the board and he wrote down something about digestion. And he said to himself, I like Tudka the best. And I heard him say it. And when he said it, I wrote it down, Tudka. And then I looked it up and I bought it. And it got delivered to my house. And I took whatever it said. I don't remember if that was a one pill dose or 2 pill doses. I took it, nothing happened. And then the second day, I had a response, and it was glorious. And I haven't cleared out. Now this was a normal clear out. This wasn't like some of these flushes and stuff that I've tried. This just happened. What it did was it turned on the bile coming out of my gallbladder, or it made my liver make bile. I don't know which one was really the weak spot, but I take 1 or 2 pills a week now, and it I have a pretty normal elimination, and I didn't have my gallbladder cut out. And by the way, I hear different people that having your gallbladder cut out is horrible. You can never eat right again or normal again. You got to fuss over yourself all the time with this kind of stuff. Anyways, this was probably one of the most successful supplements I've ever bought was Tudca, Tudca. But that's for me. We're all different. I just my intestines were like really slow mobility or non absorbing. It just what nothing was getting finished with me till I started taking that, and everything got better. Oh, here now this one looks like something I probably got from the VA, and it's too drained out. I'm sure this is for pancreas, but I'll see it. There'll be another one in here. We'll talk about that in a little bit, or not pancreas, but prostate, because my prostate gets puffy, but it's not horrible anymore. It's much less of a problem than it used to be. Like when I got this from the VA, it was a big problem. I was getting rid of the urge of getting those catheters and stuff. We don't want that. And that's no, no. But okay, I guess I got to go with the whole story. I can't say the whole word though. I can't remember what it's Torgerson. Um, okay, I'll do it later. It'll be there later. I hope if anybody's watching, I hope you're taking a note. And I am going to go for a few more minutes here. And here now, like a lot of our food, just in general, is just not what it was years ago. I used to live on a farm in the 50s. I can remember my uncle saying, pick up some of that dirt. And he'd pick up some dirt too, and he'd say, that's topsoil. I mean, this is in the 50s. He's, and this stuff, you crunch it, and it would like hold together, but it wasn't like your fist, your didn't fingers didn't make print in it. It was like um, almost like memory foam, and then it would like come back, and it didn't stink, and it was dark, black basically, and there wasn't any dust. I mean, when the plows went by with the pulling the plows, when the tractors went by pulling the plows, there wasn't a big cloud of dust all the time. Sometimes there was more dust, but not really, because this stuff was dirt. This was good stuff. Anyways, it doesn't feel like that today, and I'm so grateful that I remember that. I remember how good topsoil used to be. So when they talk about our food isn't quite up to snuff, I agree. You know, and so like a supplement like sea kelp is good for us to get our iodine, and uh, and that's for thyroid support. And I take it a lot less than I used to because when I take it, I feel that I get a little puffy on this side, and I'm thinking that's too much. So if I skip 3 days, it's normal again. So I'm getting enough kelp because I eat a lot of fish and all that. But here's another premium supplement, K2, and they talk about vitamin K1 is for blood clotting assistance or stopping or whatever they call it. That's the one that you get in vegetables, I think. And pardon me if I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. But K2, we're going to get out of animal food. And um, and I started taking this about back when 6 years ago, maybe somewhere back there. It wasn't talked about all the time back then. Not that I remember. I was doing research on the internet, and I was finding out things before everybody else was because I was digging in. I was looking, and K2 uh, manages your calcium and puts it in your bones when it needs to. And I talk to a lot of people that they say, "Well, my doctor gives me this calcium pill." I think, what does he what does he do to stop it from causing blood clots? Well, they never said anything. Well, I think you should do something because if the calcium just isn't in the right mood, it might just decide to clog up an artery. And and when I was talking about um, nitric oxide earlier and breathing through your nose and using product like what was it? Um, dang it, L-arginine, and what happens when you're weak in that area with your nitrous oxide problem? When you're weak in that area, your veins get weak, and the endothelium layer, which is only a cell thick, I think they've said a number of times it's a cell thick, gets weak, and things can get under it. Well, things like calcium crumbs, I mean, this is molecules actually, they could end up there. And in the early days, they used to think it was all cholesterol. Well, what it is the cholesterol is going there with repair parts to fix the leak. It's so yeah, cholesterol ends up there, but it's being called there because of the emergency. cholesterol is good for you. But bring that up to your doctor when they say, "Oh, your number's 198. That's too high." Why is that? Tell them, But anyways, I don't want to get off track. But that one is a major good one. But I started taking that with the idea that I couldn't move hardly. I couldn't get out of a chair. And I used to call it without grandpa noises. I was making all the noises in the world to try to stand, trying to walk, and my legs were bent and I'm limping along trying to get going. And after, 20 steps, I was starting to walk again. That's how stiff I was. That's how stiff a lot of people are, and you see them all the time in the restaurant when they've been sitting there for a half hour and then they want to get up. Well, the deal is that all this stuff is ganging up on you. So this keeps things moving, out of your blood and out of your joints and into your bones. And there's other things. So it's worth looking into if you're not flexible so much. You start figuring out what this is for. I got a couple more things that go along with that though, but and then alpha lipoic acid. Now this one is one that I wish I would have started taking way earlier. And remember, I was type 2 diabetic for, I think, a half a dozen years is when they said, "Oh, you made it into that zone. You're type 2, uh, you're pre-diabetic." Matter of fact, when the doctor told me that I was diabetic type 2 at like 8 years ago, I said, "I've been under your care all this time. How did that happen?" And anyways, I don't know what it means. I don't know what pre-diabetes means. I thought pre-diabetes means I don't have diabetes, which is kind of true. But I kind of do have it. And when you kind of have pre-diabetes and you're not doing anything about it, this diabetes is beating up your the capillaries, the little tiny blood vessels that you have everywhere, like in your eyes. It's hurting them. It's taking the life out of your eyes. A little tiny blood vessel at a time. A little tiny, and then that's happening in your brain. And my gosh, it just came. That's why we're so good at 40 and we're not so good at 60. It's because this is my theory, is that right in there, our parts start failing. When we're before 40, we were like superpower. You know, we've really done good to get this old. Holy cow! There's there's an awful lot that goes on that keeps us running, and this is the stuff that keeps me running. People say it's so expensive. I said insurance won't buy it. I said I don't care. I'm worth it. I'll spend the money on this, and I've spent way too much money. I mean, I know that I don't need all this, by the way, I don't take this density anymore. I'm cut way back. And matter of fact, some of them I get in doses that are covered, like two or three of them in the same bottle. But I got to shop the stuff. I got to find it. But I'm not trying to tell you to cut corners. If you're sick and you're trying to get better, let's not cut corners unless you want cheap results. Let's not do cheap things, you know. And anyways, okay, so there's all that, and there's another amino acid which we just can't get enough. If you don't eat a ton of food, you can't get all the amino acids. I mean, you got to. So I add in ones that are really super, like this one really gets into the blood brain barrier, feeds the brain, and I like it, but it's L-carnitine, and I'm not recommending anybody take any of this. It's just that I'm telling you, if I while I'm mumbling along here, I might say something that you feel like where I was saying about type 2 diabetes hurting your eyes. Well, all of a sudden you can't see at the dark, right? Oh, what are you going to do about it? Well, I tell you what, eggs are loaded with the vitamins that keep your eyes alive, so you can eat all the eggs you want. Another one here. Here's this one here. I kind of like this citrulline because when I get up out of a chair, when I used to get up out of a chair, I couldn't move around. It was really hard. I would grunt and move around and uh, do the grandpa noises. And this is the stuff that helps your muscles continue to spring. Keep popping. But this puts the bounce in your step, I think. But if you happen to be working out, this helps with that. And but I most of my working out is like traveling for miles a day on by foot or riding my electric unicycle. That thing does so much good for my balance and my leg strength. I've got great legs from doing that. Oh, look at there. There's another Tudka. And I take it. I love it. Now, here's one that really I like, the Ceratryptase. You won't ever hear about this hardly anywhere. But Ceratryptase, and well, I'll see it when I run into it. I'm not trying to organize anything because I just don't want to. I want to just be sporadic like this. But I love this stuff, and it comes from Japan generally, and they farm it from silkworms. I think that's the way I read it. Was it comes from silkworms. And you know how a silkworm, like when they get born, they can get out of their cocoon. It's from the serotryptase breaking the fibers. That's only part of the story. There's probably a lot more to it than that, but it loosens up everything. And so when you take this, if you're like constantly congested and even clogged up, I mean, like I see like a lot of people with COPD and cigarette smokers, they're all like this, and people have their uh, reaction to the weather changes, and the nose is running or not running, and or they're coughing all the time. This thing is maybe the missing link because this thing does a great thing of loosening up phlegm and letting you clear it out, right out. And it's not like it's not uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable, and I really enjoy it. And oh, it helps break down unwanted proteins, and that's what the proteins are, the glue that's holding the snot together. I'm sorry, but that's it. But anyway, um, now here we go. This is magic stuff right here. Oh, this is it, man. This is it. Now, did I tell you that I quit driving years ago, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago? I'm sorry. The time just doesn't sit with me. I can't figure it out. I should keep a note. But I quit driving because I was afraid I was going to kill somebody because I was just up and down, nervous, jittery, confused. And I would maybe sometimes just stop my car in the road to connect my thoughts to see if I could drive off the road somewhere. But it was scary. So I quit driving. I quit driving for some time, a couple of years. And what I did in the meantime was I started learning how to ride that electric unicycle. And you know what that electric unicycle did? Now, one, I fell off of it 100 times, but that's okay because outstanding bone density, so my bones took the hit really well, and they talk about death starts in your legs. Well, this unicycle strengthened my legs up way good. I felt like Popeye. I had big puffy legs. I mean, good muscles, good muscles. I run upstairs today. Yesterday I did up. I go to an amphitheater that has bleachers in there, and I walk up the single steps, a couple times, once or twice, just to get all my parts moving right, and then I run up the seats. And it's not seats. The thing is cement. You know, uh, it's cement seats built in. They look like monstrous giant steps. Well, they're like 2 steps. And I walk up those, and people are always like, they're looking at me, and I come back down, and they say, you do that often? Yeah, I do it all the time because death starts in the legs. So I have strong, powerful legs, and anyways, before I got to that, this stuff, this one's called magnesium L-threonate, and this one says inventor's original formula of Megtene Company. It has vitamin C and vitamin D in it, but it's magnesium L-threonate. Now the thing is with this, when I was so confused and I couldn't drive anymore, I was also completely losing my mind. And I found myself one day standing in my kitchen, and I was looking around, and I was starting to get afraid. And then I was starting to kind of almost get to a panic spot because I didn't realize where I was. And I thought I was in somebody else's house or something. And I was afraid that they were going to come out of their bedroom and shoot me for being in their house. And I didn't know what to do. I was just freaking out. And it was 3 in the morning or something like that, and I was just misplaced, and I was losing it. I don't know if that's Alzheimer's or dementia, but it wasn't good, and I was dying. And everything was wrong. I was 270 pounds. That was when I still had, I think I still had the diabetes by then. And oh, everything was just a wreck. There was a bunch of years there where everything came to the surface. And let's see okay. So I started looking up things, and I ran across an article, and this is something you can look up. The company is called Magtein, Magtein, and if you look it up on your search engine, don't read it. Basic ads and stuff. Try to find the website. Oh, here it is, right here. www Meg Utix. What the hell is that? MAGCEUTICS.com. Meg Cutix? Meg Cutix? I'm not saying it right, I don't feel like. But they've got all the paperwork there about their patent. And one of the things that it said was, but it'll probably take two bottles before you start to feel any improvement. Well, I'll tell you, you won't feel any improvement at all if you don't have a magnesium shortage in your brain. See, people get magnesium shortage in their legs and stuff. I mean, that's the way they can tell. But you haven't had a brain test for magnesium. I don't think they do that. But the thing is that when you're, it's an aging thing. So let's say when you're above 60, some people don't lose any. Some people are fine. You see like I have a 90-year-old friend who Oh, she needs a walker, and she's kind of blind, but her brain is like sharp as a tack. She's always got some fun thing to talk about, and she's really delightful. And anyways, uh, oh, I'm kidding. I got distracted. Somebody walked by the building here. But anyways, I started reading about this stuff, and it was talking about how the synapses in your brain need magnesium to fire. And I right away, I'm a car guy, and I right away I looked at it like points in an old Chevy, a 55 Chevy that were burned. And the points are burned. And all you had to do to get them to work again is to clean them off, and they would work okay. Not like new, but they would work okay. And when they were talking about the synapses not firing, I thought points, just like with an old ignition system, because I'm a mechanic, you know, I'm a greaser from Detroit, I'm really into this. But anyway, after a month, I was almost done with the first bottle. I was doing really strange things, um, like maybe I laid my keys in a different place because I'm very careful about wrapping them around the door handle, so I know I have them if I'm leaving the building. Well, maybe I was starting to lighten up because I was not feeling as forgetful or something. But I'd lay them to somewhere, and I'm thinking, where are my keys? And all of a sudden, my brain would go click. Oh, they're over there behind your clock radio. And well, all of a sudden, I'd go over there and I'd look, and I could remember. Yeah, I remember them hearing them drop when I laid them down in the dark. I remember that. But I started remembering stuff. And you know what? I hadn't had a car in a little while, a year or two. I went out and bought a car after just a few more months. I mean, I recovered so fast. I'm not 100% recovered. I mean, I certainly have memory troubles, but I've been beat up. I've been, my brain's been banged on. I've been cooked. I've been uh, exposed to way too much sonar underneath the ships, and I've been, I've been through a few things. So um, this stuff, it's and sharper mind, positive mood, good memory. Well, I'm going to say a lot better, gooder. I'll say gooder memory, uh, stress relief, and that's all true. I mean, I've experienced every bit of that. And then this is just a different brand. Of course, they got to buy it from these people, and these people, these people sell it, they don't put all the vitamins in it that this one does. This one like C and D3 because it helps with the whole situation. So look it up. Meg Team. It's good. Nothing. I'd rather spend $30 on a bottle of that every month than wish I had a memory. But I'm going to end this now. I want to thank you for watching. Um, Maybe I'll just sit here after I check in at the desk, and maybe I'll make part two. But I'll tell you what'll make it easy is if you subscribe to my little channel here. I got some subscribers. I don't get enough questions, but that's okay. I'm okay. I mean, it's nothing. I don't have a special target. It's just that I feel like I need to tell people that they can take care of themselves and they don't have to take "you're getting older" for an answer. That's not a cure. That's nothing. And the idea about taking medicine to fix everything isn't it either. Most medicine just goes on and on and on and on. You just keep taking it. And some of it has an end to it for sure, but not all of it. But let's see now. That just reminded me of something. Oh, the alpha lipoic acid. This puts the sheathing or the coverage back on your nerves, because that's why nerves start to hurt. like when people get neuropathy, everything starts to get messed up, and and this helps bring that back to life. And the sooner you start on it, the better off you are. And let's see, what was it? I was thinking about. Oh, now I forget what it was. But anyways, that's okay. But so if you subscribe to the channel, you get a chance to get a notice from the internet gods. You know, they'll send you a notice saying, "Hey, No Doctor Just Healthy posted another picture, another video." So so you can see them all. And I appreciate comments. Um, most of my comments are good. The only bad comment I've got is when I stepped out of line once, and I don't want to do that. I my target is not to step out of line. I want to be good. But anyways, I might do a second video right here after this. No, I'm not gonna. I know that I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home. I have something else that popped up on my phone while I was here. Oh no! I hope I didn't mess up the whole darn. Dang it! It fell off my hook. Oh, I hope it worked out okay. Okay, you guys, I can deal with it. If I messed it up, I'll try to do my best to fix it again. But just you know, you can see those things, but write them down. Write them down. This is the important one. I think this one for brain, bringing your, fighting off Alzheimer's or whatever it is, brain troubles is most important. This one's best. I mean, this is another good one. But come back. Thank you. Sign up.